version of Camila that we saw tonight, what do you feel like were the keys of getting that out of her in this matchup?
I think that Camilla can be um, a dominant force in this league, pretty much on a nightly basis, when her mind is made up to do so. And so, it's part of what I talk about when saying giving players grace, young players grace, because they got to grow into that. It's not something that we can just expect from them from the jump, but learning how to be that nightly is part of being a pro, and it's part of understanding what her talent is and what her potential is. And so, we just want to put her in positions where she's able to do that and see that, so it can be a regular thing.
Tyler, to your left. Angel always talks about being willing to do whatever dirty work is necessary. Did you see that today? Did you see a performance that, in terms of the timeliness and the types of plays that she made, it went beyond the stat sheet?
Yeah, I think that's who Angel is, in the best way. I think that that's what her skill set allows her to be. That we shouldn't just look at her as a rebounder or just as a scorer. There's so many different things that she can do on a court that helps a team win. And even though shots weren't falling for her tonight, she had 5 assists. She had huge rebounds down the stretch, and that's the kind of versatility that we see in her. And she's embraced it so far.
Marsh, Vandersloot broke Sky's all-time record for made shots and most points, and for her to do that in a year where she was away from the Sky and come back and do it pretty early in the season. I know you've talked about it all off season, but what does her leadership really mean to not only this team but to this entire franchise and program?
Just said in the locker room, to the team and to Sloot, that she is the Chicago Sky. She embodies what this city is. She embodies what this organization is. She embodies who we want to be, from a mentality standpoint and how we approach day to day. So she's someone that we all look up to, and her experience, what she's done in her career is something that you really can't put into words, and it's something that we all appreciate. And even those that weren't here when she, her first go around with the Sky, understand how special she is, to this organization and to this community, and now how special she is to us. So.
Coach, even though it's a long season, how does this game feel? How does this first one feel for you?
A lot better than the first four. But no, I think that, for us, we don't want to be complacent. We want to enjoy this one. Obviously, it's a weight lifted off of our back in the first one, but we wouldn't be who we are or who we strive to be if we didn't want to turn this around and do it again on Saturday. And so that's the motive. We don't want to have any setbacks going into, moving forward. We want to keep progressing, and Dallas is going to come into the next game motivated as well. And so we can't take it for granted. We can't take it lightly. And it's part of our next step in being, towards achieving who we want to be, is just continuing to put the effort and the focus into the next game.
Coach, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Ariel Atkins. She made several winning plays today, and just those 2 stops on Enrique down the stretch.
Yeah, she had huge stops down the stretch. She had huge buckets down the stretch, and I mean, the last 2 games is the Ariel that we want to see. And so she's getting more and more comfortable with our system and with her teammates, and her teammates have put her in position to allow her to know who she is to us. And I think that's just as important as anything, the mentality of feeling the love and the energy and the trust that you have from your teammates and from your coaching staff, to just be you. And so that's what we want her to feel and be throughout the rest of the season.
Coach, after tonight, how much closer is this team to reaching its complete identity?
Oh, I think we're a long ways away from a complete identity. I think we're making steps towards it. I think we've gotten better each game, 1 through 5, and so now it's about, how we progress over the next 5. And so, but we're a long ways away from a complete identity. We want to enjoy this win and take the good and learn from the bad and see how we can apply it on Saturday. But it's a tough league, and everyone's continuing to get better. So we're not alone in that, and we just want to embrace the challenge of competing and doing that on a nightly basis.
Going back to Camila, you said that she can play like that any night when she makes up her mind to do so. Do you feel like there's kind of like a mental key that she has to turn there, just in terms of, she's talked a lot about her confidence in terms of just needing to mentally elevate herself into that, and how do you tap into that as a coach?
Yeah, I think it's again, I think it's a two-way street. I think there is a a level of responsibility on our end as a staff to put her in positions to be successful. And then she's got to, approach the game day to day with that mindset of how dominant she can be. And so we want her to understand how impactful and how important she is to us on the defensive and the offensive end. And hopefully that continues to breed trust in herself, just like we have in her. So.
Can you just talk about Dallas's backcourt and what you saw out of them and just some of the ways you felt that you stopped them tonight?
I think we got stops down the stretch. I think that they are a incredibly talented backcourt, and a lot of talk goes to Paige and Enrique, and rightfully so. But Dejanay's pretty good herself as well, and so and they're missing Ty Harris tonight, who's another important piece to their backcourt, and so they got a lot of talent over there, and they're learning themselves just like we are, and so it's a new system, new coaching staff, new team over there. So I have no doubts that they'll be fine as the season progresses. And for us, it's just about doing what we need to do to get Saturday. But they're an incredible team, and Chris is doing a great job with them.
Hey, did you find any new lineup combinations that you liked tonight?
I'll have to look at the film to really see. We played a little stretch with Beck at the 4 a little bit today. So we'll reassess that and see what it is moving forward. I think they presented some line mismatches at times with their size, but we can be versatile at times as well. I thought Michaela gave us some great minutes tonight playing small as well, and so I think that's what it'll be for the foreseeable future, just kind of going with the feel and what lineup is kind of working that night, and just taking kind of game by game.
Over here. Just compared to the last game in Phoenix, you saw things slip away in that fourth quarter. What was the main difference to you that stood out about bouncing back in this game and controlling that fourth?
I think that we just took every possession. We gave every possession the necessary attention that it needed. Down the stretch of the game, they went on a run later in the third and in the fourth a little bit, and but we didn't quit. We kept fighting. We got stops when we needed to. We got scores when we needed to. So the biggest thing is just continuing to again build that trust together and overcoming that adversity game to game. Just staying together through it. So.
Coach, Camila was obviously instrumental for you guys tonight, but in terms of her getting a little bit close to foul trouble, how did you kind of work on managing that throughout the game after she racked up 3 pretty quickly?
Yeah, I think that we just had to change up the lineups a little bit. I thought Elizabeth gave us some decent minutes tonight, and then but our guards kind of took over a little bit during that stretch where Emil was out, and then she came back in and kind of picked up where she left off down the stretch. And so again, she does so much for our team. She's a huge part of our identity and who we want to be in terms of playing inside out. And so I think a part that gets overlooked is her ability to pass as well, and that doesn't always necessarily lead to assists, but she's such a willing passer that she finds the open person, and a lot of times that has a lot to do with our flow as well. And so having her and Angel and Elizabeth ability and willingness to pass and to facilitate is part of how our offense is built. So.
Having Beck in the closing rotation, do you feel like she could play her way into a starting role potentially?
I'm not sure. I thought that Kia gave us some good minutes the last 2 games, really. I thought she was great against Phoenix, and I thought she was pretty good tonight. The shots were hit and miss tonight, but I thought she had good energy and effort defensively, and it was one of those things, again, where Beck just she was rolling tonight. Whether she was scoring or not, the lineups that she was in, I felt good about. And so that's how I rolled with it. And, I actually sent Kia to the table to sub in for her. And right when I did that, Beck hit a shot, and I told Kia to come back. So that's how it's going to be. And I think our players understand that and are supportive of one another and can identify and recognize when someone else has that night. And that's part of the selflessness that we want to have as a team.
Steven on Zoom.
Hey, Coach Marsh, congratulations on your first win.
Thank you.
wanted to ask you real quickly. It felt like you saw the spacing evolve over the course of this game. Did that play a part in just kind of how y'all reacted over the course of it? Was that intentional? And how did you kind of see that play in your favor in this one?
You're asking about the spacing, our offensive spacing?
Yeah, your offensive spacing. Yep.
Yeah, I think that I think that was key into to us scoring 97 tonight. I think that that's how we want to space the floor consistently. I think we were a lot more intentional in doing so tonight. And yeah, I think that's we have people who can stretch the floor and shoot it. We have a really good point guard that can find the open shooters and can hit the rollers. And we got bigs that can put pressure on the paint, put pressure on the rim, and again are willing passers. And so with our spacing, we're not able to do that if we don't space the floor properly. And so it was a huge component of our success tonight.